So today we're going to be talking about a couple topics that have been brought forward to me by some patients. And basically we're going to get into the different forms of chiropractic, the different forms of people that I see, the different things that I hear, such as you got to go forever, they hurt you, like all the crazy stuff you hear. We're going to go over all that stuff. So what we're going to talk about is the three different kinds of patients that I see. 40% of my practice is people that come in that want to optimize themselves. So they're coming in because they've heard that we can do brain work, so basically help the brain adapt better to reality, society, whatever you want to call it, stress. So if you can adapt better to stress, then you won't overreact, and over or underreaction is the only cause of disease. I know that sounds simple, but it's literally the answer. Over or underreacting is every cause of disease. Too much thyroid production, hyperthyroid problems. Not enough, hypo. It's every single thing is that simple. And what controls that is a brain, and the brain communicating correctly. So that's one style of patient that I have come in. They're optimal achievers. Those people come in because they understand that it is not a symptom-based care that they're getting care to optimize their health, their vitality, and their ability to react to the world. The next kind of person we see come in is the person that's got issues, but they're too busy. Oh, I don't have enough time. This is always the answer. I don't have enough time. The interesting thing is when they're really sick, they always have more time than enough to do whatever they need to have done. So these people, they're symptom drivers. They're based on symptoms and how they feel. The problem with that is the symptom doesn't indicate if you're healthy or sick. It indicates you have a symptom. That's all it tells us. And we know this because right now, our biggest facet of healthcare, supposed healthcare, is symptom care, which is allopathic medicine or symptom-based care. And we know that it doesn't get people back to 100% health because when we treat them, there's a side effect of how we treat them. The drug causes this. The surgery causes this. And we all know this, but we've been tricked into thinking this is the only way that I can get anything to happen in my life. Those kind of people will go on the fence and they'll get better or worse, but the truth is you have to change your mindset about what a chiropractor actually does. What a chiropractor actually does is not pop bones. They don't push things and move. That's not the goal. The goal of the chiropractor is to interrupt the loop from the brain to the body and the body back that is producing the dysfunction. And the dysfunction is an over or underproduction of something. And it's that simple. You name any disease and it literally comes to that. Easy one, diabetes, underproduction of insulin. It's literally that simple. So when you break the loop, then the body can heal itself. Now this is the misnomer that most people don't understand, or the misunderstanding. Your body remakes itself every 9 months. Some scientists say 3 months, other ones can go up to 7 years, but the average consensus is 9 months. So if your body keeps remaking itself every 9 months, how is it remaking itself? And this is the key question to ask. If it's remaking itself congruently and it's producing the right amount of fluctuation in the body, then you will grow health. If it's remaking itself sick and it's not fluctuating correctly, then you will remake sickness. This is how we grow sickness and disease. If you wait until you have a symptom, it's waiting until your house is on fire to do anything about it. And going, why my house is going to burn down, I don't know what to do. It's literally waiting until you're falling apart because the body internally will heal almost everything. It will heal everything within reason if you get it early enough. And that's why we take care of babies. And we take care of babies because we allow them to be congruently aligned so they'll communicate and then they'll heal themselves. And what heals them is their innate intelligence, their spirit, their chi, whatever you want to call it. It's the energy inside you that animates you. The trick that we've been taught in our society is that we're machines. And we're not a machine. If we were a machine, you could take everything apart, put it back together, and it would work again. And that's not how we work, because there's a spark that keeps us alive, and that spark, that intelligence, is what heals us. So it comes down to a basic question. Do you trust more in a pill, a potion, a lotion, something made by man that within 10 years will be found on the television saying, if you took this drug, now we can sue them and make a lot of money? Or are you going to trust in your own body's ability to heal you? This is the complete difference between looking at, I can heal myself, or I'm a victim. And this is what healthcare is. You're either a victim and somebody's going to have to tell you what to do, or you can trust in yourself and let your body to heal it. And this is where it really comes down to is, which philosophy are you under? Are you under the philosophy that I'm a machine and I can do whatever I want and I'll just get a new part? Because if you're under that philosophy, you're going to break down. You're going to fall apart. And your body's not going to be able to heal it, because by the time you walk in, if you're that philosophical tenant, usually you walk in and you're so broken that it takes years for me to get you back to a functional level. Whereas if you come in and you're like, you know what? I just want to optimize. I want to make sure I stay okay. So take somebody who has a brand new car, and they love that car. And that car is going to be a synonym for your body. And that person does the oil change correctly. They do everything based on the book. We all know that car will last 3 to 4 times longer than every other car. Some of them, like BMWs that we've seen, can last 1.5 million miles, 1,500,000 miles, the same car. Keep driving. That's because routine maintenance was done to heal the body. Or we can be the person that just drives the car, doesn't change the oil, and we know it'll break down. That's exactly how people are looking at their bodies. Are they going to come in and do routine wellness visits, routine checkups to make sure that their body isn't falling apart? That's where chiropractic actually lies, is that we upgrade your brain so it can heal your whole body and you can deal with stress better. Or if you're the person that goes, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, that generation of thinking are the people that are in old age homes who now have dementia really bad, who have hip replacements, who have real bad hearts, have all these issues, and they all say the same thing to me. If I would have known now what I know, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have completely taken care of my body. Because for most people, until they have a problem, they think everything's okay. And that's not true. Because we know you can feel perfectly fine the day before you have a heart attack. And that's 60% of the time. Most people feel perfectly fine the day before they have the heart attack that kills them. Or perfectly fine the day before we're diagnosed with cancer. This doesn't tell us if we're healthy or sick, how we feel. That is the misnomer. Your symptom does not determine health or sickness. Your symptom determines that you have gotten so bad out of alignment that your body has grown sick cells. Because remember, every 9 months we regrow ourselves. So what are we going after? Are we going after a symptom-based care? And if we do, depending on which medical journal you talk to, if you do symptom-based care by itself, when you give the right drug at the right time, is the third leading cause of death or the first leading cause of death, depending on the journal. So if the leading cause of death in our country is medicine given at the right time, by the right provider, at the right dosage, then maybe we should ask ourselves, is the symptom really the problem, or is the symptom really the answer? And when you look at it, you have to understand the symptom, and it's hard for people to understand this, but the symptom is actually telling you have to look inside and see what you're not dealing with, what you suppressed, what you pushed away, what's actually going on. And when you start actually doing this, and this is what a lot of, how do I want to say this? So a lot of native cultures will do this. They'll say you have a problem, and that indicates XYZ is going on in your life. But in our culture, we've been taught that we're machines. And that's where the problem comes in. Are you a machine, or are you a vitalistic force that is housed in a body? And I know it sounds real hairy-fairy, but the answer is realistically, you're not a machine. You cannot replace the knee with a different fake knee and expect it to last as long as your natural knee. Your natural knee is actually made to decay at the same rate as it's healing. The metal knee, on the other hand, will last 10 years or 15 max, and then you have to get another one. And most people aren't aware of this. You can only have 3 surgeries on any joint, and then you don't get any more, because the bones around it will not hold and will not heal it. So if you get a knee surgery at 40, and then 50, and then 60, that means when you're 65, you're in a wheelchair. These are things you got to be aware of. So the big thing is, these are those patients that are symptom-based. And then you have the last group of patients, and they are resigned. I've tried everything and nobody can help me. Exactly, you're right, nobody can help you. You're the only one that can help you. And that's the bigger concept that people have to understand, is that my job is to empower you. My job is not to make you a victim. My job is not to tell you that you're stupid and you don't know anything. And you ask me, or I'll ask you a question. When was the last time you went to a medical doctor and you left happy? Oh, it doesn't happen. Because you're told something is always wrong, because their philosophy is disease. They do not study health. They study disease. So if you study disease, you have to find a disease. And then you have to guess at what pill to give you. And you go, well, my doctor doesn't do that. I go, do they say this? Try this, and if it doesn't work, come back. That's guessing, not knowing. It's not try this and I know it'll work. It's let's just play around with your chemistry long enough and hope something will make your symptom go away. But once again, that's not going to help you. We're just making you feel good while you get sicker and sicker and sicker. So those people who are very resigned and say, nothing helps, I'm just going to die, it realistically comes to the point of either they're going to have to make a shift in the way they think, or nothing's ever going to change. Those people, it usually takes a catastrophic thing where they have a heart attack and they don't die for them to change their life. And it's sad for me to say that that's not what I want to see. I want to see people who I can come in and get them ahead of time so they don't make sickness. Now, most people aren't aware of this. Every single sickness that your body makes starts in the brain. Everyone. And you say, well, what does that mean? It's how I think? No, it has nothing to do with how you think. Well, if it's not how I think, how does it work? It's how your body deals with stress, interprets it, and puts out a signal to help you heal. If you have a faulty interpretation and put out a faulty product, then you have a faulty body. And that doesn't mean you get a symptom, because you literally have to produce 60% decay in an organ, muscle, or gland before you feel a symptom. 60%. That means if you get back to 59, I feel fine again, doc. Let's leave it alone. Really? You have 59% sickness and you think you're healthy. Let's think about this. Well, you know, I got a bald tire, but I'm going to drive on snow. That's the same thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Let's go slide around and fall off the road then. It's the same thing. Why don't we grow health? Why don't we invest in ourselves? And if you really want to look at it, look at actuarial stats of when people go bankrupt. And majority of people go bankrupt in the last 6 months of their life because all their money goes to acute care because they didn't take care of themselves. So you're going to spend money on your health one way or the other. You can either spend a small amount in the front end or everything you got at the back end. And if you do that, that means you're not going to leave anything for your kids, anything for anybody else, and you're not going to be able to have fun. So you have to think long term. Do I invest a small amount of money up front? And then when I'm older, I can give all my money away to my kids and my family and have fun with it and still be able to run around and have fun? Or, and this is what we usually see, people make all their money in the beginning of their life, and by the time they get that time to retire, they can't move because they've beaten themselves up and stressed themselves out, and now they spend all their money trying to get healthy again. And this is sad because I'll do the car analogy again. This is like a Ferrari that just hit a wall at 100 miles an hour and then says, I want it to be good again. No, it doesn't work that way. You get one body. If you take care of it, you'll be healthy. If you don't, you'll fall apart, like average America. And I'll let you know if you're in those symptom treaters. Do you only take care of your health when you feel a symptom? If the answer is yes, then you're going to the allopathic or symptom treating medical facade or medical way of taking care of people. And that symptom treating thing is acute care, and it will lead to sickness. Your symptoms might go away, but then what you're taking will affect you in multiple ways. If you base your health on how you feel, you're going there. And like I said earlier, That's the number 1 or number 3 leading cause of death, depending on which medical journal you read. So is that really where we want to go? So I know I'm going a little off there, but that's what we want to ask ourselves. Who do we really believe heals us? Is it us, or is it a pill? If it's a pill, we're a victim. If it's a surgery, we're a victim, because then we didn't do anything, and then we can't really heal ourselves. And the thing, I'll get into this for a second, is that you can literally do sham surgeries, and the person believes it's so healthy, so much, that their problem goes away. And this has happened multiple times. So the surgery most of the time doesn't even do anything. It's the belief that it will. And the body will change it enough. What we need to do is change the way the body subconsciously reacts to stress. This is the key to health. This is the key to vitality. This is the key to your body taking care of itself. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about your theta, your delta, and your alpha waves. This is brainwave functionality. This is how your brain actually deals with stress. If you become too much beta driven, which is the high end frequency where disease lives and pain lives, and I'll make it simplistic. If you have a lot of beta, you're growing sickness, no question, because your body cannot heal itself and you grow dysfunction. Depending on your ability to change determines how healthy you can be. An example of this, if you've ever watched a Guinness Book of World Records thing, or a monk that can literally slow their heart rate and all these different things, what they can do is they literally change their brain waves into alpha and even theta states, which is a healing state, and they can control through biofeedback their heart rate, their muscle tone, their ability to bleed. So much so where I saw on a Guinness Book of World Records TV show where a monk put a metal spike through his hand and didn't bleed. How is that possible? He put himself in alpha. He didn't feel pain either. So if you're somebody who has chronic pain, that means you're in chronic stress, you're in high beta, and that's why you have pain. The only way it will change is by taking you out of that state. And if you don't believe me, watch one of my biofeedback ones. I have a video on biofeedback, and I literally induced a headache, muscle pain, and back problems in 15 minutes, and then trained the person to be in the right frequency and made it go away in 4 minutes. And I didn't touch this person. The frequency determines your health. The frequency determines your health. It's that simple. If you make the brain work right, it will heal correctly. Now, there's other things that I was going to talk about, but I think really what I'm going to get into is some of the common things we hear. Well, if I go to a chiropractor, I have to go for the rest of my life. If you brush your teeth, do you have to brush your teeth for the rest of your life? If you go to the gym, do you have to go to the gym for the rest of your life? If you decide to meditate, do you have to meditate for the rest of your life? The answer is no. But would it make sense to still keep brushing your teeth every day and maybe eating right every day and meditating, doing things that will increase your ability to heal, increase your ability to deal with stress? So the answer is no, you don't have to. But if you're somebody who wants to constantly grow, be able to deal with stress at a higher level so you don't get sick, don't have problems, and thrive and make more money and have more fun and not really have as many issues as most people do, and think at higher levels, then yeah, you're going to probably want to come see somebody like myself for the rest of your life. Me personally, I get adjusted because it actually changes my neurology. I have no symptoms. I get adjusted between 2 to 4 times a week, and that's going to be my schedule for the rest of my life. And here's the problem. People go, well, you have no symptoms, why would you get adjusted? And I go, because I can prove on an EEG machine that it changes the way my brain works for the better, so that I can process things quicker, so that I can talk and have 15 or 20 people in my office and have 2 staff members and a baby crying and be able to know everything that's going on. That's why I get adjusted, is to optimize myself. The next one we hear is, well, I got hurt. I go, okay. And did you go to a chiropractor? And this is interesting. Well, no, it was actually a massage therapist. Or, well, no, I was a physical therapist. Or, well, yeah, I was a chiropractor. I go, okay. And when you first met this person, did you feel like they were the right person for you? Well, no, I didn't trust them at all in the beginning. Well, what do you think's going to happen? If you innately know what's going to happen, you're going to make that happen. Now, some people, though, do get sore after the first adjustment, second adjustment for the first couple of weeks. And that's because their body has been so sick that it can't even see what it was growing. It was growing sickness for so long, it's not even aware of it, and now we make the body become aware of it, and now it says, hold up, stop growing sickness. And you go, I hurt, and I go, excellent. And you go, well, doctors aren't supposed to say that. You're supposed to treat pain. And I go, no, I've told you from the beginning, I don't treat pain. I'm a communication guy. I'm about making your body heal itself. I will never state that I can treat pain. But I will state that if we change the brain will heal everything in your body. So do you want to go to the downstream problem of a knee, a kidney, an ankle, an XYZ diagnosis, whatever itis you want to call it? Or do you want to go what causes it? And the truth is, there is one cause of all disease in the body. And it's a misinterpretation of a signal in or a stress. And the only way you can cure that is change the way your body deals with stress. We all know stress kills, but we're never told how to deal with it. I'm telling you how to deal with it. Upgrade your processor, your brain, and then you can deal with it. And then your body heals itself. Stress does kill you, but taking Valium is not going to make you better. It's just going to literally shut down your body's ability to deal with it, and then you feel okay, because you're all drugged up. And there's side effects. That drug causes all these effects that are not good for you. So if you find a doctor and he adjusts you and maybe you're a little sore, maybe you should think about how long it took for you to grow that problem. Oh, well, I only had my symptom last year. Really? Okay. And that's why if we look on an x-ray, it can show me bone growth or deterioration that is 30, 40, or 50 years old. And that's all symptom care again. We have to go away from the symptom and understand the only way you'll heal yourself is to continually work on yourself. If you're not continually trying to heal yourself, you're going to keep going towards symptom care and you're going to get sick. And you're going to go into the model that is the first or the third leading cause of death in the country. It's your choice. If you choose to be healthy, why don't you invest in yourself? If you choose to be sick, don't blame anybody else. And don't think you're the victim, because if you watch this, then you know what the answer is. So, oh, I've gone to a doctor and they hurt you. Okay. When you look at this, there is that if they know exactly how to adjust you. And this is the art of chiropractic. How long has that doctor been in the career? What technique does that doctor use? What kind of patients does that doctor see? And then you'll see what that doctor is good for. If that doctor only talks about low back pain and headaches, then they're a low back pain and headache doctor. If that doctor talks about crazy weird things, MS, ALS, Lou Gehrig's, depression, anxiety, whatever, then that doctor is working at a higher concept of what they can help with. And that doctor is looking at different facets and different levels of how to take care of things. There's actually 3 different ways chiropractors work, 3 different technique bases. One of the techniques is called structural. That means what you look at is the bone and the muscle. And you want to change the bone and the muscle, and that indicates for a feedback that you think the neurology is working correctly. Or if I put it in the right place, the person will get better. I find that flawed. I used to practice that way when I was a neophyte and didn't know any better. But it can still get results. The next kind of doctor is going to do more of a tonal technique. And what that means is they're going to look at how the body is adapting, and they'll look at the whole body. So you got doctors who look at segments or the whole body. You get doctors that look at how the whole body is adapting. So they're going to start looking at, is there torsions? Is there movement front and back? Is it an emotional driven thing? Is it a spinal cord related thing? And this is a tonal technique. And these techniques are things such as SOT, so sacro-occipital technique. Another one you're going to look at is TRT, or torque release technique. Another one you can look at is network. Another one you can look at is Logan Basic. I'm just saying these things, you guys are like, I don't know what he's talking about. And the truth is, you don't need to. You just need to know what you think your cause of your stress in your life is. If it is a car accident, then you go to the structural guy and he'll very easily help you. If it is an emotion, the structural guy is not going to help you, because he's not looking at the emotion, he's looking at the structure. Now, what I like is neurological based care, because that covers structure or physical problems, emotional problems, and guess what? Chemical problems. Most people aren't aware that the drugs that you take routinely make you sicker. They actually cause you to grow sickness. If you don't believe me, tell me why DaVita is one of the biggest growing, or let's put it this way, a different way, why people need to have their kidneys, because their kidneys aren't working anymore, they're literally getting flushed all the time because the drugs are killing their livers and kidneys. That's the biggest growth industry in medicine right now, is dialysis, because drugs cause that. Oh, well, the drug saved my life, and now you're sicker. We always have such a short-term look at what we're doing. So that's looking at it. So the three causes of things that will make you sick are emotional stress, physical stress, and chemical stress. All three of these cause faulty neural communication, and that's what causes sickness. And it's not a hard bone on a soft nerve. That just doesn't exist. It's an easy way to explain it, but that's not the answer. The answer is the brain does not adapt correctly, it short circuits, and then the body gets pulled out of position because the brain becomes stronger on one side than the other, and it actually physically rotates it out. But guess what? That's not the problem either. That's the symptom of the brain not working right. All of your symptoms of your pain, your aches, your blah, 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 you name it, is because your brain can't adapt correctly. And if you change the way the brain adapts and take the body out of stress, then you can, if you haven't grown the symptom long enough and actually caused decay too bad, heal it. Even if you have caused decay really bad, we can get you to the point where you can usually take care of yourself. But if you're at the point, and I've had one person out of 500 that have been told they needed surgery that actually needed surgery, and it's because the joint did not exist. It was literally bone on bone. And I'll tell you this right now, you're misdiagnosed bone on bone 99% of the time. Out of everybody that I've seen one bone on bone, and all the other ones are stated that. And if you look at your x-ray, if the doctor will ever show it to you, ask them to show you what normal looks like, and then ask them to show you what yours looks like. And if they won't do it, it's because it's not bone on bone. There's little bits of movement. If it's bone on bone, you will see gnarly stuff. It'll look like a bomb went off in your knee or your shoulder or your back. If it doesn't look like that and it's real subtle, it's because there's nothing wrong. It's because you're not adapting correctly and your body is producing pain to tell you to look outside of yourself and figure out why you're stressing yourself out. Is it your marriage? Is it your job? Is it your work? What is causing you to keep getting sick? Most people don't want to do that. They want to be victims. Well, just give me a pill, doc, and then I don't have to think about it. Your health is actually your health. You get to decide. If you want to invest in you, you'll have health. If you don't, you will be that person that gets sick. And if you don't believe me, statistics state 2/3 of the people are going to die of heart disease and the other 1/3 are going to die of cancer. That's everybody. That's everybody. That's not just the people over there or the people over there. That's everybody. And I can state without a question that both those diseases are caused by a faulty brain ability to deal with stress. If you can adapt to stress, you can get rid of these issues. You grew it, you can heal it. Most people aren't aware of that. They grew the problem, they can heal the problem. If you can do something as simple as juice for 3 weeks or 3 months, and all of a sudden your atherosclerosis goes away, then how did it go away? You regrew yourself correctly, and you changed the stress chemically on your body, and you could regrow it properly. Well, what would happen if we optimize that system? Then you can grow everything better. The only thing and only caveat I have to say is, don't wait. The longer you wait, the harder it is. Every time you run your brand new Ferrari, which is your car, into a wall, you keep denting it up more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and eventually it gets broke. Even those people who are really broke, there's always a key. As long as you're alive, we can always grow health. It doesn't mean we'll always get you back to 100% though. The longer you wait, the harder it is. The more sickness you grow. So my takeaway from this is this: you are powerful, you can heal yourself. You have to do it by changing your subconscious way of dealing with stress. It's not like you're going to think it into better being. It doesn't work that way. You have to change your subconscious. If you want to look into somebody who talks about this, there's a PhD and a fellow who taught at Wisconsin School of Medicine, as well as Stanford, and his name is Bruce Lipton. And he will talk about subconscious and conscious and how that controls your body. And he even goes into the epigenetic expression of stem cells. This stuff is well known. It's just that it's easier to sell you on a pill than tell you you're responsible. Thank you.
Thank you.